Okay, here we are. My internet didn't want to wake up for a minute there. I had to click go live a couple times. So I am on now, and it is Thursday. We're looking at June 27th. Where in the world did June go? Does anybody know? I don't know about you guys, but June has just flat out disappeared for me. And we're well into summer here in Arizona. So as you come online, make sure that you log into the chat box and let me know who you are. I want to know who's here. That's part of the fun of doing the Facebook Lives is having all you guys joining in and getting on that comment box. Give me a hi and tell me where you're from and who you are. All right, this is Thursday. Like I said, it's June 27th. Hi, Rena. Welcome. Good to see you from New Jersey on the other side of the US. We are coming in, and we've got Christina from California. Hey, Graham. Good to see you. Oregon. Cindy from Houston. I love to be able to see everybody, and I don't want to spend a lot of time. Like, I want to say hi to everybody. That's how these Facebook Lives are because I'm getting you in my studio, and so it's really fun to see everybody coming in. And Farzaneth from Toronto, Judith, Tucky, California, Karen. You went to the Grand Canyon. Oh, you enjoyed the Grand Canyon. Awesome. Yes, I did a webinar on the Grand Canyon last week. Hi, Susan. Welcome. Bruce from Phoenix. Hey, good. My Arizona people and Diane from Tucson, Carolyn from New Jersey, Barbara, Missouri, Linda, Ohio. Awesome. All right, I can't do that anymore. I want to do that the whole time. Get to see who's here, but I can't. So you all know who I am. If this is your first time to one of my live lessons, my Facebook live lesson today, then I am Linda Glover Gooch. If it's the first time, I am a painter, artist, obviously. I'm trying to, right? It's a journey that we're on. I'm the creator of masterfulpainting.com, where I house my online courses. And I come out with lessons all the time. I have a blog where I put a lot of teaching things for all my peeps that want to follow me, and we want to do this journey together, right? Today we are doing green. Yeah, as you know, because you signed up for this, if you're here right now, that we're going green today. So we've spent quite a bit of time down in the ground, and I taught on earth colors over the last couple months. I've taught on the canyon, I've taught on rocks, cliffs. We've done all those kinds of things. And I thought, okay, green is a major thing out there, right? So I'm just going to share my favorite greens in today's lesson. But before I go on, you know me, I'm in Arizona, you guys. Right now, I don't know, the temperature's not popping up on my computer, but I'm sure we're going to hit 105 or more. It's been warm. We're headed into July, but guess what's going on? Are you guys ready? Yes. Monsoon season has already hit us in Arizona. Like about the last week, humidity came in and these clouds were building. This is right outside my studio door. Just day before yesterday, these are the clouds that were like building. Are those not beautiful? Yeah, this we're getting into like my time of the year. I live for monsoon season, right? Then the same day, later in the afternoon, look at that rain squall that was going across the valley. So I sit up a little bit high. So I have this view out my studio and I watch these rain squalls all the time, which is probably why you see rain squalls in so many of my paintings, right? I don't know. They're there, they're in my face. And so when all those clouds are building and I'm watching those rain squalls, they always end up in my paintings. So that's what's going on in Arizona right now. And of course, with this happening, I'm probably going to go that direction with all of my lives over the next, month or two during monsoon season. I'm probably going to take you back up into the sky. We're probably going to do clouds and we're going to sunsets and skies and all that business because we've been down at the earth and we're finishing it off with beautiful greens today. My desert's not so green, but I still love green. And I paint a lot of other areas besides the desert, right? But we're going to stick with the greens. So today I'm going to take you to show you the mixing greens that I do, the colors that I love to work with. And I'm just going to do, I have a lesson on a video that I made. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about those. I'm going to take you through those mixtures. So the greens that I use, most of them are mixed. I use a few tube mixtures, okay? But these are the mixtures that you find in my paintings, such as this. All right. So, you know, I developed these scenes and those landscapes really aren't like a place. It's where I want to go. And I talked to some of you about this, and I know Graham has asked me before in the past about mixing landscape photos with different skies, and I do that. And I'm going to teach further on that down the line as soon as I can figure out a way to really do that and get my point across in a understandable way. But these are the greens that I use. So you can see them there, and I'm going to go through some mixtures, and in this one as well. See, now this one's toned down and a tidbit grayer. It's got some close up hills that have a lot of gray, but little bits of speckled light, opposed to this one has more flat land going way back and then some distant blue mountains. So there's a little difference in those, but really most of the greens remain pretty much the same that I use. I just vary them. All right. And so varying them and taking them into different tones. Some are warmer, some are cooler. It just depends. But I do merge my skies and my landscapes. So a lot of times you will not ever find that particular landscape. I always say it's where I want to take my viewer, right? Like, what are you doing with your work? Because we're not married to the photos, you guys. And I preach this a lot. We're not married to that photo. We're the creator of our work. We get to choose how we want to do it. We get to choose our colors. We get to choose our direction. We get to choose our techniques. It's all our own personal journey. So in mine, now, of course, if I'm at the Grand Canyon, I'm pretty much painting, you know, what I see there, so to speak, because it's an iconic scene. Though I will tell you, I do make little changes for the sake of a better composition or just my pure enjoyment because I can, right? But so my landscapes like this with all these greens are pretty much predominantly like where I want to take you, my viewer, or where do I want to go? Where do I want to be today? That's how I paint those. So that's my whole thought process on that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you into a lesson, and we're talking about the power of green and what it will do in your landscape. And really, I know I hear this a lot. I spent years painting at the Rocky Mountains with a lot of painters. Spent a lot of years out there plein air, and greens were tough. And they are tough. But when you learn some mixtures and you apply, right? Use the applications of the things you learn from me, from other artists, other workshops, as you study at your palette. We don't just study up on the image, you guys. All right. A lot of work happens on your palette. And I preach this a lot in my in-person workshops and in my online courses too. That palette is important. Being disciplined with your palette, understanding your color wheel, being organized with your palette, keeping things in order, and you know where you are. Because if you're out plein air painting and stuff is moving, you can't figure out which one of those is transparent red oxide and which one is alizarin. You know, I preach always load that palette the same way all the time. And I do that in the studio too, because when that intuitive part of you kicks in where you want to paint for the sake of just love painting and you want to get into the zone, there is a zone. There is a place. You get there by perfecting your palette, knowing your colors, knowing your tools, then you get there. So I'm going to take you into this video. And then if you have questions, you guys, you can drop them in the chat box as the video is running or afterwards, because I'd love to answer questions too. So I'm going to take you into the video and let's see about my greens. I do like to make my own sap green. So right here, I've got my ultramarine blue deep and my Gamblin transparent orange. And I'm going to make a sap green. And it's usually the dark green that I pull across my landscape. I'll vary it different times, but just to get a mixture going here, I've used the transparent orange and the ultramarine blue. It makes a very beautiful sap green. Now you can go warmer or cooler with it. I usually will land right where it's just barely starting to warm, but it doesn't have the cool of the blue. Because sap green is kind of a little warm out of the tube, you can use the tube sap greens. I just like to mix my own most of the time, though I still do carry a tube of sap green for other mixtures. That's about perfect right there. Now for me, that nice dark sap green landed just about perfect, and you can see as you scrape the palette, that's how you can pick up the true color of it. So that's how I make my sap green. Now sometimes off in the distance, I want to use a little bit of the sap green. Let's do a little pile here. And I like to take some air color with a little bit of sap green mixed into it. And this sets off a very beautiful gray green. Now this is my air color, which there's a video that will teach you how to make my air color. That's the white, cad red light, and ultramarine blue. But you can already see, isn't that just a gorgeous blue-green? And you can go darker with it. You can be cooler. If all I wanted to do was get a little bit cooler, I could just add more blue to it and see what it does for it right there. You can see that difference. Or, you know, even a little more green to it. So it's still a cool color, but look, it's a little bit darker. So you can see those two values there. So I love to do that for distance. Another nice color for distance that I like to make up in my greens are ultramarine blue and yellow ochre. All right, now it gives you a totally different green than that right there. This is warmer than that, but sometimes I want it to be just a little bit cooler. I'm going to throw in a little more ultramarine blue. Now, I want that to be maybe distance, so this would work pretty good for some mid-ground areas. If I want to use my air color, which not say if, I do a lot, I'll use my air color and mix it with that. And still a very beautiful light blue-green, not as cool as this one over here. This one's cooler because the yellow ochre was way warmer. So that makes another beautiful blue-green like you're seeing in some of those images. You can see them. You can see this in the mid-ground. You can see it off in the distance. Sort of depends on where you're looking. Now, there's another color that I just love to work. Another green, a tube green that I really do love. And it is Rembrandt Green Earth. So it's Rembrandt Green Earth. It's a very gorgeous color. You can mix it though. You don't have to buy it, but I'm going to show it to you here. It's a very beautiful kind of, I would call it earthy, but on the cool side a little bit. So that green earth, I love to use it in different areas of my foreground. It just sort of depends on the scene, but I will intermix it. It's a nice color for ocean too, but right now I'm talking about ground. So in order to make that mixture, yes, you can buy it out of the tube. You definitely can. I like it for convenience, but I also end up mixing it quite a bit too by taking Viridian Green and Raw Sienna. And it brings that over. You just go slow, or you go too far. That's one thing about mixing, is just take your time, because you go too far and then you got to start all over again. So I'd rather be a little bit on the conservative side. So you can see that's getting real close. It almost looks a little bit lighter in film. Maybe I'll just add just a little bit of ultramarine blue to take it maybe just a hair darker, get it just a little closer. But how close is that? Really close. So, that's another mid ground. Now, when I start getting back way in the distance, I love sometimes to put a very beautiful glow from the sun. And a lot of times I will use Grumbacher phthalo yellow green and yellow ochre. And I'll start with this mixture, and I'll even use this. I guess I shouldn't say this is just in the background where I have a strip of light, but you'll see this. You see that in that one painting there in the foreground where it's really intense bright greens. This is the yellow ochre and phthalo yellow green mixed together here, right? Now, if you take these and you're laying them in your foreground area, and then this starting to mingle with it, you get some very beautiful things happening on your ground. Now, I'll lighten that with maybe some lemon yellow and white where I really want some bright. I'll take that, and you can see that right down underneath that tree where I have some sparkle of light showing there. That's this mixture here that I like to use. So these are just sort of some mixtures that I get going. Now, obviously, there's all different ways that you can go with this. The ultramarine blue and lemon yellow are a beautiful mix. It's way cooler than these lights, but look how beautiful this is right here. Your yellow, lemon yellow, and ultramarine blue. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. Now we are also seeing this in that one painting that I have up with the different spots of green. The dark green, the mid-tones, the blue grays. And depending on how gray you want to get those, you can always add more air color. If you really want to go way grayer with some of those, the sap green. Really influenced with air color. In a different fashion, a little bit of warmer sap green, so you can get all kinds of varieties going. You don't have to stick with just one. There's areas where I'll put some of this purple even showing in my greens. And you can always bring it up one more brighter with a little more yellow. Always go to yellow first before adding white. There's not much white in these mixtures. There's white in this, but it's come through a gray. So you want to be careful with that. So this just gives you a little bit of an idea. These are just some of the favorite mixtures. You'll see them in my paintings. If you study and look at my paintings, you'll see them. One other color that I really do love too is Viridian Green and Cat Orange. This is a very beautiful color. It's sort of an earthy green, all right, but it takes on a deep richness because of the Viridian, but takes it way different than all these others. But it's just a very beautiful mixture. It's all about practicing, using all those. And then the key element that you need to think about is be careful with getting too greeny green. So there's a lot of elements that I try to move in. How about a little bit of red to warm up that green? Putting a little bit of red in it helps warm it. You can do that on any green because it's a complement. So hopefully this helps you, kind of gives you some different ideas about mixing greens. Okay, hopefully you didn't fall asleep during that time. And I just took you through. I do use a few other greens, but like those are kind of like my staples. What I always have on hand. And again, when you're working each individual landscape, things are going to fall differently, right? It's going to depend on what what you're doing, where your light's coming from, all of those things. So, oh, good. Thanks, Susan. She said she was awake. At least I know one person stayed awake during that. Will these colors, let's see, here's a question. I'm going to see what you guys want to know. Christine says, will these color mixtures be posted later? The video will be, it will stay on Facebook. So you can go back and watch it. And if you want to pause it or whatever, I am working on a PDF and all that for you guys. I just ran out of time and couldn't get all of that put together, much like I did on mixing earth tones, as I taught on that for a few weeks. I'll get a PDF put together for you guys so you can go over it. Plus, I might even add a couple other of my favorite greens, which because I just do love them. Diane said she was awake and hanging on every word. I love that. Okay, so let me look and see. What is what? Let's see here. So I love the images with the pull out color spots, but which was which? Well, I mean, if you go back and watch this, you could pause it and kind of look through that. Really, the color spots, if they were bluer and cooler, they went towards the back. The warmer, the more hot colors probably were towards the front. But then, I do push it, you guys. I push my work. I push my colors. So way off there in the distance, I sometimes will put some hot spots where the sun's coming down through clouds because I want to take you back into the distance, right? So I will use some pretty intense color back there. So in order, to say that which ones were which, you would just, if you look at that image again, this image, let me pull that image back up. Maybe I can answer this question a little bit easier with that image. Hold on one second. I'm going to add this here. Let's see, add. So let me get rid of your question so it's out of the way, Rena. So you can see I don't have these labeled here. Now, in my PDF, when I develop it, I'll probably label it. But like on the bottom row, that third one over, right? That's that ultramarine blue and yellow ochre going off in the distance and probably some air color added to it. So that bottom image, count over 1, 2, 3, that kind of grayish, greenish color off in the distance. Like I was talking about up on the top picture, the second one over, that intense green there, that's my phthalo yellow green and yellow ochre. So, those things are just part of like what practice brings. And I will develop, like I said, a PDF as the weeks go by. It's just finding time to develop that. But hopefully, you can go back through and watch this and just get to your palette. That's the main thing, that I'm talking about, is for you to get to your palette and then follow through with, what you're learning here and what you're learning at other places. So I'm going to go into also where we were. I'm going to pull up something here. If you guys give me just a second here. I'm talking about greens, and the other thing we want to talk about is, let me see if I can find my slide. I also took you through, yeah, there we go. Sorry. Sometimes that little thing is so little. And then I'm trying to answer your questions. So these beautiful earth tones. So if you don't know about earth tones, you can go to lindaglovergooch.com/earth tones. And there I do have a PDF that takes you through, when I say earth tones, I'm talking about like those pathways through some of those scenes, the dirt, that part. I have some mixtures, and I have all the mixtures laid out and a PDF for you. So you can learn about the earth tones too. And that's where we've been. And that's why I said, I just need to get some greens into this whole teaching thing. So anyway, let me see about questions real quick. That was Rena's. Thank you guys. I appreciate everybody's. Do you use the cad yellow mixtures? Linda says, do I use cad yellow? I use cad yellow medium a lot. Sometimes I'll mix it with ultramarine blue. Sometimes I'll lighten other greens with it, depending on where I am, what I'm working on. But I do use a Gamblin cad yellow medium. Now, if I'm painting sunflowers or things like that, I go to a cad yellow deep, but cad yellow medium is on my palette. I didn't get it into these mixes right here, but I do use it. It's beautiful color. You're welcome, Nancy. Do I work in watercolors? I play in watercolors. I don't work in them. When I'm like toast, right? Like I'm like, oh, okay, the painting in the background is like giving me issues, or I'm working on something and I'm like, I just need to go play and not be so serious. I have some watercolors and I play in them. Watercolors are beautiful. I love watercolors, but you know, I'm proficient in oils. I grew up in oils. I've been painting in oils for 50 plus years. So I kind of know where my skill is. So I play in the others. So that is where I am. Okay, let's see. Carolyn, would you please do a workshop that we can purchase of painting meadows like the paintings you have shown today? I would be first in line. I like that idea. That's a cool idea. And I'm glad that you brought that up because I wanted to remember in this Facebook Live to tell you guys, if you have ideas that you want me to teach on, I would appreciate it. Knowing, I would love to know. Like I know Graham has said, how are you putting those photos together, like different skies and different clouds? And I'm trying to work on that, Graham, like a real teachable way of that. So that is on my list. And I do love to know these. So yeah, Carolyn, good idea. It'll get on my list of my want to do things because I think it's a very cool thing. And I do think greens are tough for people, valley scenes and different things. And it's just the practice. But I will be honest with you, much of the practice that I've learned was out on site in Mother Nature. And that's not to say you have to be a plein air painter. You can go out there with a notebook and a camera, make notes, talk to yourself, and study. Plein air painting is great. You don't have to do it. I think it's a great teacher, but you can do it other ways as well. So good question, Carolyn. I'm going to put that on the list. So, yeah, summer, been mixing a lot of greens. Good, Susan. I hope you found that helpful. You are welcome, Rena. Thank you. I'm glad you guys are finding these things helpful. So Graham says also follow up on that. Following up on Carolyn's comment, a workshop on foregrounds would be helpful. All right, I hear you guys. I'm going to put that together. I think that that's a very cool idea. That's not one that I had thought of. When you're teaching, you have a tendency to like focus in on like the grand thing. Like my Grand Canyon course just came off of a lot of teaching with that, and I have people joining the course. So you have sometimes when you're teaching, you think broader because I just want to give so much, right? I want you to know everything. I want to like share as much as I can. And so it's sort of like a kid, in the amusement park, like how many rides can I get on this trip? But I love that idea. So I'm really going to think about that. Cindy says she's on a trip doing greens right now. So this will help. Awesome. Very good. Love it. Love it. Love it. So a workshop on trees. Yeah, that would probably follow in with the greens. I could see that laying foregrounds being trees are a part of it. Susan said workshop on trees, pine trees. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I like this idea. All right, you guys are giving me some good ideas here. You guys are making my calendar full. Oh gosh, we're getting close to 11:30. I try to just stay at 30 minutes. I want to talk about the blog really quick. And Nancy says, which brand? Phthalo Yellow Green. And it is a Grumbacher and it's spelt with a T. So it's Grumbacher, Thalo, Phthalo Yellow Green. Not like what we are used to as in phthalo with a P. It's actually a color that I learned years ago in the desert. If you take phthalo Yellow Green, Grumbacher, and alizarin crimson, there's another beautiful mixture. I didn't get added to that. Maybe I'll add that to like the PDF and the build out video, the bigger video that I do for you guys at a later point in time. Okay, and Carolyn says, thanks so much. Never been to the Grand Canyon. Love the farms and meadows. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. So I want to talk about the blog, you guys, because what's at the blog this week is that's not it. Let me find my blog slide. There we go. So this is what's at the blog this week. So you can get to my blog, lindaglovergooch.com/116. It's about creating drama in your paintings. So I'm outside at the canyon, and that dramatic scene up on the left, the way those shadows carried in there was just amazing. It's similar to my Grand Canyon course, but the light source is a bit different. But I just take you through a few steps about creating drama in your paintings. So go over to the blog at lindaglovergooch.com/116. I have a good lesson for you there. All right. Then again, how did I mix that color? These are the earth color tones. If you want that video and the PDF, you'll find that at lindaglovergooch.com earth colors. So if you're looking for stuff of mine, go to lindaglovergooch.com, and I have stuff all over there. I do have what I have listed there in the tabs as my blog. And I also have the art locker where I keep a lot of these things. Now, this guy is not there yet. So you're going to have to just punch in .com earth colors because I need to put it there. So yeah, so you can go to the blog there for that. And then you guys, this is what's happening. Are you ready? Are you guys all with me here? Coming July and August, it's my summer sketch giveaway. Yep, that's right. So late July and August, I'm doing the summer sketch giveaway. Don't go anywhere. I got to show you what we're doing. So what I do is I have a demo of sketching, and I'm a big one on sketching, right, with the markers. So my summer sketch giveaway starting Monday, you'll see, if you're on my email list, you'll be getting an email list about it. And on social media, I'll splash it all over where you sign up. You got to sign up to win. Once in July and once in August. Once you sign up, you're already on the list. You don't have to sign up for each month, but I'm giving away. I'm giving away sketchbooks. All right. I'm giving away my very favorite tool, which is the proportional wheel. Let me get rid of this little slide. It's bugging me. Let me get that off of there. The proportional wheel, I'm giving away 2 of these, one in July, one in August. I'm coming at you guys with a Dick Blick gray set plus a micron pin. All of these are going to be in the summer sketch giveaway. This is my 4th year to do summer sketch giveaway, and it is a blast. I love it because the winners, it's exciting to get to win those supplies. And I'm doing it so that I can get you to the drawing board and get you sketching, because it's a big thing. I have all of that in my online courses at Masterful Painting. I take thumbnails. First, you start with a thumbnail of the subject that we're painting, because I know what it did for me. Listen, you guys, for years, I didn't want to sketch. All right. This true confession. For years, I did not want to sketch, and I just wanted to get to the paint because I love oil paint. I love the consistency of it. I love that it's like a frosting. I get excited about it. And I didn't want that black and white business. I just let me paint. But it wasn't helpful for me. So when I backed up and I was like, okay, be disciplined. Really, Linda? So I started doing sketching. This was years ago. Started doing sketching and started applying it now. Like, I love it. And this is why I push it. So watch, starting next week, the emails will go out. I'll put it all over social media. It'll be not on our next Facebook Live is July 11th. That's not the summer sketch giveaway. It'll be at the end of July, because that gives time for people to get signed up. So the last Facebook Live of the month will be the summer sketch giveaway. But in 2 weeks, I will be here on July 11th. It'll be probably some clouds or something like that, just because what this weather is doing. But watch for summer sketch giveaway. And then I also want to remind you about the fact that also right now I am painting the Grand Canyon online course. There's a special going. The webinar special ends tomorrow. All right. If you're interested in that online course, you can get in there at a very special price. It's $70 off. All right. And that's at lindaglovergooch.com/Grand Canyon. I take you through a very detailed job on how to paint rocks, how to do the back canyons. We spend a lot of time on the trees. That front rock is a big rock structure. So I take you through that. So that webinar special is ending tomorrow. With that, you also have other bonuses in that course. I have all kinds of other lessons in there about varnish and oiling out. You have access to me. All right. You can reach out to me for help if you want it. It's a lifetime access thing. It's mentorship from me, really with no limits. As long as you're in there painting the Grand Canyon, there's other photos that I've added to help my favorite Grand Canyon scenes. So you just have an opportunity to work with me and go through my course, which you can see I'm pretty detailed, and I'm very detailed through my courses because I'm really passionate about helping people grow and do what you want to do, right? I mean, that's what we're doing. We're like creating work, and we want to create the very best work we can right now today. And it's a growing thing. So with each time, every painting, every cloud painting I do, every scene I do, I'm like, I just got to take it a little bit higher. Like I got to just go a little bit deeper. Like, what can I do to just make it a little bit better? And so these are the ways we do it: by study, just educate yourself, and stay at the easel. All right. So there we go. Remember, you guys, to share this and like it. Gosh, you guys, I'm so glad that y'all came in. I really appreciate it. A couple minutes over, but I'm going to make sure there's no more questions. Linda says she joined local urban sketchers to get into it. That's awesome. Yeah, you can join sketching groups and all that stuff. Diane, you've been neglecting it. It's time to get going. Sign up. Maybe you'll win a bunch of supplies, right? And I'll have demos too that take you through how to use them. I have some of those on my blog too. When you go over to the blog, there's all kinds of lessons there, free lessons and all that stuff. So I'm anxious for summer sketch giveaway. It's really fun. I just love to give away stuff. It's fun to have people win and just hanging out together. All right, checking my notes. Did I miss anything? Remember, tomorrow is the final day to sign up in my Grand Canyon course. That course will help you paint rocks anywhere because it does have some of the back canyon to it, but it also has the very front rock structure there. That big rock structure in the front is there, and it teaches you how to think abstractly about rocks and then know your way around them, so to speak. You can use what I teach there in really any type of rocky terrain. So that, my friend, is there. I'm going to sign off. Looks like I covered everything in my videos. I think I answered everybody's questions. If there are any other questions or you think of something, you guys, I do check this. I try to follow up to see if any other questions come in. Thank you, Graham. I'm glad you enjoyed the lessons. I appreciate your input. Love all you guys showing up. And I think we're ready to sign off. Where are you going? Hello? Oh, exactly. You're headed to the easel palette. You're going to do what? Did I hear it? Oh, you're going to mix some greens. Awesome. All right. You guys are saying, all right, enough. Enough is enough. Okay, you guys, you all be safe. I'm going to say stay cool. We're going to do that here in Arizona. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Ciao.